What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the Fig Fam? Welcome back to the Fig Heel YouTube channel. And today I'm going on a little fig hunt with Macho Friend. We're looking for new elites, new ultimates, new AEW. So come join us. All right, stop one, and I have a good feeling about today's fig hunt. First up, they had elites up there, Lexus King and Tyler Bate, two of them. Great figure, but I understand why he's sitting on the shelves. Plus, they had these, Bret the Hitman Hart, Ken Shamrock, and the Ringmaster, but then I looked down and they had the new AEW Unmatched. We got Sky Blue, the Stinger, Darby Allin in that coat, which is actually sicker than I thought. I think I trashed that figure on the Case Fresh podcast, but I love it. Will Ospreay, which I already have, and Bryan Danielson. I was going to call him Daniel Bryan. Behind him was Kenny Omega, so the Jay Switchblade was gone. I wonder if it was the chase. You know I'm leaving with Sky Blue. Already am getting Stinger, so I am excited about this. We're leaving with two figures, plus I grabbed some of the Monday Night Wars from my man JM Witt. Successful fig hunt already. I'm hoping that we can find some more elites, some ultimates. Stay tuned. We're going on to Target now. Making that slow approach, getting excited because there's figures on the shelves. First thing I saw was this. I have wanted this Ron Simmons since I went to Mattel back in March. They had him at the Mattel store. However, I couldn't pick it up because my suitcase was at capacity, so I had to leave it behind. I was scared I wasn't going to find it in the stores. So definitely leaving with that. Recently unboxed that Steve Austin. I dig it. They got Hitman, they got Carlito, they have that Ultimate Edition Hulkster, another Hitman. Man, Bret is rotting everywhere I go. It's kind of a shame. Love that CM Punk. They had Rosie. It was a standard, as well as the Godfather. They had some stingers. Matt Jackson, Kyle O'Reilly, Nick Jackson. And then I saw that they had the Batista. I believe this was Elite Series 2, Series 3. And this is the one where it had the hole in the back of the shirt. Very, very cool. When you turn it around, you'll notice that even in the picture, they make sure to accentuate all of the holes that he had in the shirt because he was really tearing through it at that time, which I think is pretty funny as a special guest referee. They had that Evolution 3-pack. I looked around hoping there was more greatest hits because I would love to pick up those Usos. However, they weren't there. Definitely need them and the Hulkster. Making our way down to another Walmart. This one's usually pretty good, but as I made the approach, I realized it wasn't going to be more Bretts. It's kind of a shame, dude. I can't believe that Bret is warming this hard. I mean, they have 4 on the shelves there. They had Ricky Starks, the exclusive, a bunch of them, as well as more of these Stone Cold Steve Austins. I feel like we're going to be seeing these Raw's Netflix Steve Austins and CM Punks everywhere we go. They also had the 2-packs, a bunch of LA Knights. I saw an Andrade there, which I bought this months ago and never unboxed it. We have the 2-packs. More Bretts, so that's 5 Bretts. Bryan Danielson, you got to be catching on to a little theme here. Bryan Danielson, Austin, LA Knight, and of course Bret the Hitman Hart. These would seem to be warming around our area. Always got to do a little clean sweep underneath and see if there's anything hiding underneath the pegs, but unfortunately we are leaving empty-handed. Next stop, as I made the approach, I noticed there was a decent amount of stuff on the pegs. However, it seemed to be a lot of the same old. They had the Miz and Gunther, as well as Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, Kyle O'Reilly, another Stinger, bunch of Godfathers. I thought this was pretty interesting. I don't know much about Star Wars, but I never saw that before. And they have the Ultimate Edition Hulkster, Rosie. You know I got to check and see if there's a chase. No chase. Believe it or not, this was the first figure that we got from the Legends series, and we have yet to find a chase in the stores. However, luckily I got one from Mattel back in March. But yeah, you always got to check behind the rings and all those things to make sure there's nothing hidden underneath there. But I feel like as a community, collectors have gotten much better at hiding things. For instance, I like to hide things in microwaves and stuff like that because nobody really opens them. Came over to the collectibles section. There's a main event series CM Punk, as well as the TMNT Stump Wrestling collectibles, which I think are awesome and technically are wrestling figures in my opinion. However, I do not have the real estate to add more TMNT stuff to the collection, so they're going to stay on these Target shelves unless they go on clearance, which I'm hoping they do. The pop section at my local Target has been much better in recent months. All right, guys, thank you for coming with us on our little fig hunt. This is everything that we picked up. We got the new AEW Unmatched Series 11 Sky Blue. The first time figure for her looks excellent. I love the eye makeup, the gear, the tattoos. I think they nailed this figure. And then we got the new Surfer Sting from the same AEW Unmatched Series 11. Additional head, additional hands. I love the white and blue, how it's very reminiscent of his Just Toys Bendham, a.k.a. Twistable. And then we got the Ron Simmons Greatest Hits figure in the purple. Wanted this for a long time. I have the prototype of the original as well as the original mint in box. I compared them. It's tough to say which one's better. They all have elements that I like. So maybe we'll do a video on that. But pretty cool week of gets as far as our toy hunts are concerned. Would love to be able to find the Chase variant of this Stinger, that Blade Runner Sting. Man, I gotta get that figure, so I'm hoping that we stumble across it. Also would like to get a few others from this series in the greatest hits. They did have the Batista. I left it behind. Definitely need that Hogan. And I kind of want the Jimmy and Jay Uso. I've told this story before. I used to have the Jimmy and Jay Uso, but then when they didn't have other elites, those elites were going for some big money, so I sold mine. Obviously, I regret it, but here we go. They're being re-released, and they're better than ever, so you know I got to pick them up. But thank you guys for coming with us. Hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeal. Twitter is at TheFigHeal. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, available now on Amazon.com, or simply go to healbooks.com. Make sure you join Whatnot at whatheal.com, and you will get $15 off your first purchase. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeal's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 5,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With shots by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Premium, full-color, and value black and white editions available now on Amazon.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeal. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeal. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHeal.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.